There should be transparency in senators' allowances. Lawmakers shouldn't be saddled with infrastructure. Former Senator representing Kaduna Central, Shehu Sani, has reiterated the need for transparency in the handling of parliamentary funds, particularly concerning senators' salaries and cost of running their office. Sani expressed his concern during an interview with Arise News on Wednesday, where he reacted to Senator Samuel's recent disclosure that each senator received 21 million naira monthly for office expenses. You see, there have been a lot of reviews, there have been a lot of news updates regarding the amount our senators earn monthly. And most of the times we see them coming out to refute this analysis. And this man who has been in this and also within the corridor of power is coming out to say, talking about transparency. Now, I would like to hear your thoughts on what Shehu Sani is saying on transparency. The one thing about transparency is I believe that it helps to make the people not to expect too much from you. When they know how much you are being given to carry out your duties in office, to carry out some things in your constituencies, it will not make the people to expect more than the budget from you. So what can you say about this transparency issue? We've been talking about it every time. So what is your thought on this?
Well, there was a recent report by Daily Trust still on this issue
Transparency.
of transparency. And Daily Trust reported that our senator's salary amounts to like 20 billion or thereabout annually. That's each of our senators, and we have 109 of them. They are going home with 20.2 million naira monthly, one person. So there has been this back and forth has been ongoing for a very long time. And I think we took a story related to this yesterday where I said one of our lawmakers, Lams, what was her name? Adiola Fayeun, who gave an analysis of the amount our senators are earning. The reason why a lot of people are giving different analysis is because there is no transparency. If at all there is transparency in the amount our senators are earning, we won't come out to say this. When this issue, I think this issue came back again because it was first out when NLC was asking for minimum wage and they silenced that. And here we are again talking about it. As at the time of NLC, that was the best time for them to have given out the amount that they are earning. Since if you can know the amount you are paying your workers, it is not because you are working for the Nigerian people. It is not bad if Nigerians know the amount that you are earning. So they came out and they refuted what the former president of Nigeria, Olusegun Obasanjo, had said, that the lawmakers determine their own amount. That was also a good time for them to tell us exactly the amounts that they are saying. They only said RMAFC are the one determining the amounts that we are getting, but they didn't tell us the exact amount that they are getting. Then later on, the chairman of the RMAFC came out to tell us that our lawmakers are earning 168,000 naira. We know they will always make reference to that. But speaking about transparency, what if that is the amount on the platform? If you go to the RMAFC platform today, that is what you are going to see on their platform as the amount that they are taking home. But then we have the Senate President, Akpabio, who said sometimes back that now that the Nigerian people know the amount we are earning, it is NLC that cost that. So that means Akpabio acknowledged that is the amount they are earning. But what is outside for Nigerians to see is that they are earning 168,000 naira. And my question is that who spent billions of naira to contest for Senate president, to contest as a senator in Nigeria, to be earning 168,000 naira?
Who earns 168,000 and use SUV of 100 and
So
160
those
million.
are pertinent questions that we should be asking. Despite the amount of money you spend to get up to that position, despite the amount of money that you spend to keep you in that position, despite the amount of money that you are using, you know, the SUV that you are talking about, I was listening to an analysis that thing takes like 90 liters of fuel.
Mm.
At the rate that 90 liters of fuel is sold in Nigeria, that is running over 200,000 naira. And
It must be
that
filled
is,
up.
and it must be filled up, and that is if you are not going out often. You can manage that full tank twice in a month. That is going to 400,000 naira. So I'm just coming back to what the RMAFC
Mm.
chairman said, that they are collecting 168,000 naira. Who collects 168,000 naira in salary and pays 400,000 naira for fuel allowance
Mm.
as fueling of their car? Or maybe they included fuel allowance in the allowance that we see. So it is as a result of no transparency. That is why we have all of these things. So I support what Shehu Sani has said. There should be transparency. There should be monthly audits. I don't know. I love reviews a lot.
Mm.
Probably because I review my own life as a person. Because before you can lead others, you must be able to lead yourself.
Definitely.
Monthly, weekly, daily, I check out what are the things that I did today that I ought not to have done. What are the things that I can do better? How can I do it better? How can it be done well? So when there is monthly auditing, yearly auditing, Nigerians will see that, okay, this is what goes into the hand of our senators. And this also remind me of the APC issue, the issue that is currently going on in Kano State.
In
That
Edo
this,
State.
even Kano State, this Dambelo exposed them. How can one person, the commissioner of a state, you have 20 different BVN? I
Mm.
thought one person is supposed to have one
Just
different
one
BVN,
BVN.
but because they use it to take money from different BVN per person, because there's no transparency, there's no auditing. How can you? We want to pay your salary to you. It has to be one account. You don't tell us to send it into another account. That is part of the things that auditing will help them to
Mm.
do. So
Well,
that's my thought on that.
well, you've spoken very well. One thing I also want to say is that one other senator said something recently from the northern side, and that is Senator Abdraman, talked about how much the 99, non principal senators are earning monthly to be about 2 billion. Now, he said something that caught my attention. He said the other 10 principal senators, the Senate president and all that, about 10 of them, they don't know how much they are earning. And these people are being paid monthly. Yes, other senators don't know how much they are earning. You see, this thing can only happen when people don't want to be open. And why they always come out to defend themselves is because they are not there will be no need to come and defend yourself if you are open enough for the people to see the way you run things, the way you do things. You see, what I want to just say is that this under this administration, we've seen a lot of cases. Where do we start talking from? Is it the area of the way the audio projects, audio structures, and all that? It's so bad that at this point, no Nigerian, apart from those in power, apart from those that want to sing the praises of our dear president, no Nigerian can come out now and say yes. On this angle, I can say yes, this administration is doing so well. It's so bad. At least if you have people who are speaking out of hatred or based on political differences, it's a different thing. But now everybody is saying these people are not transparent, and they're coming out to refute that they are transparent, they are accountable. And I begin to wonder, so who are they being accountable to? Who are they doing the account? Who their transparency? Who is seeing it? But one thing I would like to to say or to ask you, like I would like to get your thought is, now, judging from the calibers of people that are coming to give us this estimate, give us this update on what these people are earning and their allowances, and the refuting of the our people in power. Do you think that these people coming out to give us this analysis, do you think it's possible for them not to know what they are saying? Or what can you say about this back and front on this analysis on their allowances and salaries?
Well, I see a problem here. And it is something that I'm so going to plead with parents who are raising the next generation
Mm.
to be careful of. I see something here. There is a problem with us as a Nigerian. There is a defense mechanism that has been inculcated in us while we were growing up.
Mm.
The defense mechanism that mommy gave me 100 naira. Mommy tells you not to tell your brother she gave you 100 naira because your brother must not know the amount you're earning.
Mm.
That defense mechanism that as a man of the house, my wife should not know the amount I am earning.
It's so
He
bad.
should not know the she should not know the amount that is coming into my hands. When I have money or when I don't have money, it is not, they don't have to know. I am a man. And as a woman, you have that mindset that okay, this is my own money. It should not be known to my husband. This is a little outside of what we are saying, but I'm going to take it back to defense mechanism. Do you know that a man killed himself because his wife has paid the school fees for the children, but she told the parents, the school, to keep requesting for the school fees from the husband, and
Mm.
out of fear, because the man was thinking so much, he killed himself. It was after his death that the woman said, and I have paid the money. Why didn't you let your husband know you've paid that money?
Mm.
Still on defense mechanism. So they raise children to grow up to the point that the Senate president should not, I'm the Senate president, the other senators should
Senators
not
must
know
not know
the
how much I'm
amount I'm earning
earning.
because I am the leader in this place.
Mm.
I am a senator. A rep member should not know the amount I'm paying because of the kind of thing that I am in control of. The as a clerk in the court, why should an ordinary clerk in the court be aware of the amounts I as a judge is earning? Security reasons, defense mechanism.
Mm.
That is where the problem is. That is where a lot of our leaders don't want anybody to be aware of the amounts they are earning. Till date, do we know the amounts Mr. President is earning?
And Nigeria is paying him.
And Nigeria is paying him. Do we know the amount that is allocated to our ministers? We have been back and forth on senators. We've not come back to our ministers. We've not come back to our governors. We've not come back to our councillors. We've not come back to our chairmen
Mm.
in their respective duties. Why? Because there's a defense mechanism that covers what they are doing, that they don't want Nigerians to be aware of. And speaking of those people who are coming out to give analysis, we are all Nigerians. You see, the most painful part of it is that I hope that when each and every one of these people who are talking now, when they are in position of authority, these things that they are saying, we can see things from when you are afar off. If you are in a very high mountain, it will be difficult for you to see tiny details going on below because you are not there. And if you are down below, it will be very difficult for you to see what is happening up there because there is a limit to what you can see when you are down below, looking at what is happening up there. So I hope that someday when they get up there, they will not be saying that, I'm now there. People should not know what I'm earning. But on the part of Shehu Sani was once a senator in Nigeria. So he knows what he's saying. Even he himself, he has said it times without number that let our salary be transparent to the people that we are serving. So that if out of my savings I decide to buy a new house, Nigerians can know that this
It
is
is
out
from
of my savings.
savings.
It is not coming from Nigeria. But you see our senators, look at the ladies that, there was a time that there was a leakage of Senator Akpabio, the Senate president. There was a leakage of the number of our top actresses or some important influencers we have in Nigeria that he has dated, that he brought to where they are today. And the report is online, the analysis is online, but he came out to tell us that he has one wife. So if at all there is transparency in how much you are earning, when Nigerians see you doing certain things, it will be easy for us to say, wait, how can a man earning 168,000 naira be able to do this? Then you come out and say, out of my 168,000 naira, it is only 68,000 naira I'm spending. This is how I've been able to save my money to get what I have now. Or I did cooperative. So because there's no transparency, anything that we see happening in the Senate, in the senators' cabinets now, we can always say it is Nigerian money because there's no transparency.
That is true. Well, you see, when there is no transparency, anybody can question the operation. But where there is transparency, you save yourself stress. You see, the government is bringing this upon themselves. Our leaders are bringing this upon themselves because to save yourself the stress of questionings and all that, make everybody to be aware of how things is being done. And I believe until they start doing that, people will still talk and people will still put allegations. Of course, we can't say it is allegation because to me, I believe that all the people, the person of former President Olusegun Obasanjo coming out to talk, he is aware of what he's talking about. He's not outside power. He's still within the corridor of power. And he has been in the position of the presidency. So he knows what he's talking about. But the last question I would like to ask you before we leave the studio today is, now, judging from the current economic situation we are going through in the country, judging from the number of senators we have, both the principal and the non-principal senators, and all these people, and going by the promise of our president, I will always say he said he promised us renewed hope. Now, in order to come out as a country that is currently experiencing inflation, what do you think that continual paying of these people with the amount that we've seen that they are earning, what do you think is going to be the impact, the effect on Nigeria economy?
You see, the thing is that if people are overpaid for doing a good job, it is not too much. When people are paid and you can see what they are being paid for, just imagine that you and I, we get our salaries. This sounds personal, but it is just an example. We get our salaries monthly without showing up here. What would
Here will not grow.
this place will not grow? Do you see that? So now we are doing the job. If we get overpaid for doing the job and even doing
It will
extra,
be an encouragement
it will
to
be
do
an
more.
encouragement to do more. Do you see that? So if at all we see our senators doing the job they are paid for, Nigerians won't complain about the money because we can see that they are doing the job. But go to our constituency today. So because these people are saying that most of the money, the huge amount of money we see, they are constituency projects. Go to our constituencies and see if those projects are there. I saw a story and I would have loved I would take that story, but I just needed my confirmation. I reached out to someone in Ilorin about some borehole infrastructures that are done in the rural areas in Ilorin. And they said they spent 20 million naira in doing borehole. It only has 3 taps. You know those borehole that when a rich man is in a community and he decides to do a borehole outside of your house so that people can access. That was how that borehole is. This is somebody's constituency project and they spent 20 million naira on it. 3 taps. They tied it, yes, they put color white.
A whole community.
For a whole community, only 3 taps. It is not 50 people that are living in this community. Hundreds of people are living in this community, and you said you spent
just one
20
location.
million naira on it. Just imagine that. So you see that all the constituency money that they are getting, they are not using it for the main thing. So if they are overpaid, we should complain because they are not doing the job. And the impact on the Nigerian economy, you usually emphasize on renewed hope. I want you to know that this renewed hope is open for some people. The renewed hope, its definition to every individual is different. Just like COVID time, some people were praying for COVID not to go because they were benefiting from it. Some people became billionaires, millionaires during COVID. Why? Because it is helping their pockets. So now, renewed hope is helping some people's pockets. Renewed hope to an average Nigerian is that this is renewed hunger. This is renewed inflation.
Hardship.
This is renewed hardship. This is renewed problem. But to our senators, to our judges, there was a 300% recent increment for the judicial officers. To them, it is renewed hope because they are going home happy. So the impact on the economy is that these people are only there to get the bag. They are only there to secure the bag, to get the money, to take out of their... They say that it is a national cake. Everybody will eat out of it. They are eating out of Nigeria. So the impact of the economy is that the inflation will keep rising. The problem will never be solved because they are not addressing the main issues. Imagine that out of all the 109 senators that we have, all of them are doing their constituency projects. Will our rural communities be suffering? Will the people complaining of bad roads in their rural areas, people complaining about insecurity in their rural areas, even if police officers or soldiers cannot go to those communities, they can get vigilantes. So the problem will keep increasing if they will not channel their energy to doing the right thing and stop this lavish lifestyle of embezzling money, all in the name of constituency projects.
Well, you see, what I would just say, and on a final note, is that if Mr. President, I mean our leaders from the top, from the federal level, can, you know, be kind enough to take into cognizance some of, it is not enough to give assignment as a class teacher. You give assignments to your students, and you don't check to know if they did the
Yes.
assignment, and equally give necessary correction. You are not helping them. You cannot say you've given assignment. You give out money you know that is not coming from your personal pocket for some certain project. You don't invest, you don't inspect it. That was one of the things that made former governor of Lagos State, Akin Umambode, to be different from other governors. He will inspect every project. He will go there to see it. He does not go by videos of. Sometimes you see contractors will take videos of another place to show for a current project that they have embezzled the money. You see, if the presidency or the federal government can look into some of these things, you see, there will be no accusation. We see this time around under this administration that if anybody is saying anything that is negative, that is not how they want it to be, they will always arrest the person. They will always arrest the person. They will always, once you are not saying, they don't want people to come out and say things the way they are. They don't want people to come out and state the obvious. All right, and you can't be doing things wrongly and expect people not to talk.
Yeah.
All right, if you are accountable to Nigerians, they will always have no need to say you are embezzling our money. And
Definitely.
sincerely, it is as a result of this lack of transparency. That is why we are seeing cases of embezzlement, money that should be used for projects being embezzled by an individual. Imagine a case of somebody having more than one NIN. If we have a working system, it shouldn't be possible for anybody, both the common man and any whether politician. All right. So all I want to say is that our people in power should know that when fire starts burning, the intensity increases. If it starts burning, once this corruption, we know that the rate at which corruption is now is not how it was when it started in Nigeria. And the way people, we just had an end bad governance protest. We saw how it ended. And nothing has been done to address the issue that led to that protest. It is as a result of lack of transparency. Should this thing continue the way it's going, and the people decide to come out again, they will not come out the way they came out before. The other one came with publicity and awareness and all that. It might not happen that way. And we know the aftermath of protests when people are hungry and they decide to come out and display their displeasure.
And I have one last note on this, that Mr. President is always talking about reforms. Reforms are needed in regulating what goes on in the Senate. There is
Sure.
need for reforms to ensure, because this is actually breeding inequality, that some senators are getting more, because I'm seeing here that some people may be getting low and some people are getting high. So if they are talking about reforms, it should start with our Senate. That's my
Yeah,
final thought.
that is the good one. Like, we know that we have 99 non-principal senators. If the senator, I believe if they are all equal in rank, aside from the 10 principal senators. And if there's anybody earning more, it should be those, maybe based on their position, the Senate president, the president, and others. If it will help to avoid, and moreover, there's nothing to hide. The money they are earning is not in thousand or in nine, I don't know, in thousands, that you will say maybe you are ashamed to say you are earning 100,000, 120,000. They are anywhere. So why are they ashamed to reveal to Nigerians the amounts they are earning? Well, one thing I will say is that for you to make people not to accuse you, let them know how you do things. Show your workings. Mathematics will always say, show your workings. Show your workings, and Nigerians will stop accusing you. We also like that you express yourself in our comment section. What can you say? What do you feel about this transparency, this reform, this renewed hope agenda? It was a promise. It was a promise. And like my coach already said, that it means different things to everybody. What does this renewed hope agenda mean to you? We'd like to hear that in our comment section. So this is where we are going to draw the curtain on news at noon here in Prime Media TV. We would like that you follow us in all our social platform on YouTube, on TikTok, on Instagram, on Facebook at Prime Media TV and at Prime Media Studio. Till I come your way again, I remain your host, Treasure Mwachuku. Please stay tuned and keep watching.